Through the years, we've been on that path that helped us understand that there wasn't anything wrong with us or with you. We learned that once you change one thing, suddenly new doors open up and all kinds of possibilities appear. It doesn't matter if you want success in finance and health, romance, or in business. When you change this one thing, and we'll tell you more about that in just a minute, you take that parking brake off and it becomes infinitely easier to have what you see others getting.
Yes. First, it's important to know that none of this is your fault. The struggle and pain you've been through isn't because you're bad or don't deserve abundance.
Right.
The reason you've been struggling is because a part of your brain has been fighting you.
There's a part of the brain called the primitive brain that focuses on survival. Its main purpose is to protect you. This part of your brain has first dibs on all your resources. Your primitive brain will flood you with adrenaline and other chemicals to let you run faster than you ever thought possible to escape a bear. And it can give you the strength and courage to fight off a mugger or pull a car off a small child.
Yeah. Your primitive brain wants you to be able to escape physical threats, to have enough to eat, and have a tribe to belong to. It wants you to be loved.
Your primitive brain evolved at a time when there weren't police officers, hospitals, or firefighters. That part of your brain cares very deeply about keeping you safe, and it will do anything it can to protect you.
Yes. The problem is the primitive brain can get stuck. If something happens that scares you, your primitive brain can record the incident as very, very bad. Ideally, once the threat is over, your thinking or cognitive brain would help out your primitive brain, help it sort it all out, and you'd only want to avoid the things that were truly threatening or dangerous. For instance, if your normally loving older brother jumped out at you and shouts, "Boo," that's pretty scary. But it isn't dangerous. It isn't useful to be tense or vigilant around your brother for the rest of your life.
Right. Look, if something really scary happens and your system gets overwhelmed, that event might get stuck in your primitive brain. And that can create a big log jam where other events get stuck too. So a lot of things that seem scary or are listed as dangerous, avoid at all costs by your primitive brain.
For small children, many things are overwhelming and frightening. So your primitive brain might have strange ideas of what is safe and what is dangerous.
Until you reprogram your primitive brain, you will be fighting against something that is stronger than willpower and stronger than hope.
You will keep struggling.
If your primitive brain learned that money was bad from hearing your parents fight about finances, it might be doing its best to protect you from the dangerous money. It could be sabotaging all your efforts to save money, get a raise, or grow your business.
If your primitive brain decided that love hurts from seeing your parents' messy divorce, or because your 7th grade heartthrob went to the dance with Missy Belinsky instead of you, it might be protecting you from heartache by avoiding love and slamming the brakes on any action you might take to find love.
Your primitive brain might be frightened of being too fit and having too much required of you if you were that fit. Or it might have learned that friends get jealous and they pick on you if you look too good. And all the stress from a vigilant brain can tax health as well. I know that firsthand. In fact, that constant internal struggle can be very hard on people's health. Almost impossibly hard.
So you can see how your primitive brain might work against you, but it's extremely difficult to override the primitive brain. Let me give you an example. If you put your hand on a hot stove, you don't just sit there and think about moving your hand. You instinctively jerk your hand off the stove. This saves you from a bad burn and makes you more likely to survive. Yay, primitive brain.
Yeah. Can the primitive brain be overridden? Yes, it can. For instance, if someone had a gun to a loved one's head and told a person to keep their hand on a hot stove or else, they would override their primitive brain. It would take every ounce of energy and focus they had. They'd have to really use everything, but they could do it for a while. That's what people do when they try to use willpower to fight their primitive brain. They use every ounce of energy and focus, and they can do it for a short period of time. They end up exhausted, hurt, frustrated, and when they run out of steam, They fall back on old patterns like overeating to soothe the stress, or shopping when they intended to save money, even yelling at their spouse despite their real intention to improve their relationship.
Mm-hmm. Your primitive brain will do whatever it has to in order to keep you safe, based on its limited understanding of what is safe.
That's an important point. The key is to help your primitive brain upgrade its understanding. Yeah. And learn that new things can be safe. And once you do that, the resistance falls away, and instead of fighting yourself to move forward, that powerful part of you is helping you instead. You can become turbocharged. And all that old effort, we're not saying that you won't ever have to put in effort, but taking the steps to create your dreams can become easy and fun.
How long does it take to reprogram the primitive brain? Well, part of that depends on how stuck it is. But we've worked with thousands of clients, and we found that even a small amount of focused energy and attention in the right way can make a significant difference in how the primitive brain works. And over time, as your system learns how beneficial it can be to work together, you build more momentum and find that the process is growing easier and easier.
The key is to stop fighting the primitive brain. You won't win. You can't have it surgically removed. You need it to survive. And you actually want your primitive brain's help. Make it your ally, and it will naturally want to help you achieve your goals. And all the energy that's been going into resisting, that will be turned around and become like jet fuel to help you rocket forward in your life. Kathy and I, we believe in you. Mm-hmm. We know that if you take the parking brake off your life, you'll start glowing brighter and living a richer, happier life. We know that the key to this new happiness and power will rub off on other people and make their lives better too. We want a world that's like that.
Yes.
We want everyone to have access to the lifestyle they dream of now and in the future.
It's time to take the parking brake off your life and have more fun.